The 4th of December 2025. Welcome to Entertainment Thursday. This is a Good Morning Kenya. My name is Mike Migwe. Leo ni ile siku. You know, when Friday comes early. Thursday is the new Friday right here on KBC Channel 1 because Entertainment Thursday has all the latitude to get into your personal space in terms of making your morning entertaining and fulfilling. Once again, welcome to the program. A lot has been prepared for you, including interviews with different persons within the entertainment industry. And right about now, I want us to just focus on something different because mwezi ni ya December, sherehe ndio hiyo. Because December na sherehe, same what's up. You know, mnaenda kukula na huko, mmepanga trips hapa kule. Kuna mtu anakula tumbukiza hapo. By the way, and the person who invented tumbukiza should be apewe state security. That is one meal that I don't know whoever started making tumbukiza was thinking, but it's perfect. Ukiuliza watu tumbukiza ni nini, wallahi wanakwambia tumbukiza ni nini, because the secret ingredient is in the name, tumbukiza. But before we get into all that, I want us to talk about this festive season, but from a financial perspective. Festive finances. Because we are about to enjoy everything that life has to offer. Tumefanya kazi the whole year. Everything that we have worked for, the goals that we have been pushing, ni time ya kujipigia makofi. But within the same sense, we also have to plan ahead. Let me tell you one thing. I am going to give you a quote, and I think it rhymes with the season. Enjoy the little things in life, for one day you'll look back and realize they were big things. Enjoy the little things in life, for one day you'll look back and realize they were big things. That is a quote by Kurt Vonnegut, and I think it rhymes with everything that you've been working for around the year. The goals, however small the achievement that has been, it's time to look back and celebrate. And look back and say, yenyewe, it was worth it. So, even as we celebrate big or small things, how do we plan for and post the festive season? You know, in studio, I'm joined by CPA Ken Odongo. He's going to talk to us about that aspect of festive planning before, on, and after, because that is one thing that is very, very important. CPA Ken Odongo is the director of Focus Business College. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing very well.
Yes.
Yes.
Unajua sasa tumeingia December.
Yes.
And festive season ndio hii.
An amazing time.
Na hatuwezi danganyana. Yes. December, sherehe,
sure, na
pesa, they are interconnected.
Sure.
And we need to know how to plan.
Sure, we have to.
So I want us to move very systematically in as far as this aspect is concerned, because when it comes to planning, and especially when it comes to finances, yes, we need to know what you are doing. So in the first instance, from your perspective, why is it important that when you are getting into festive season, you need to know how to plan? Why is planning, first of all, very important when it comes to the festive season?
Thank you so much. First of all, I would want to say that festive season is a moment to celebrate, is a moment to get there. But at the same time, there's an aspect, the aspect of also planning. It's a time to be strategical, you know, looking at the next year. Mm-hmm. It's a time to look at, to assess your goals, look at the following year, how better you can improve yourself. Mm-hmm. So very importantly, planning makes us move. Mm-hmm. You realize that if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. Yes. If this plan is not incorporated in in the festive season, yes, you realize in the following year, you get stuck. Mm-hmm. So that's why number one, planning is very important. Mm-hmm. But when you look at plans in detail, there's what needs to happen before, mm-hmm, and there's what needs to happen after, yes, the festive season.
Yes. Yes. So let's start with what is supposed to happen before. Take us through that.
Very
before
important.
The festive season.
So number one, what needs to happen before is to budget wisely. Remember, before you stepped into this festive season, there's a lot of pressure, pressure from family, pressure from friends, to buy the best and the latest goods in fashion.
Yes.
But you need to plan wisely in terms of your finances so that you do not strain in January. Number two, you need to also exercise balancing. If, for example, I had 50,000, I need to know that in January, I need to take care of a number of bills. So this 50,000 should be balanced. As I go to celebrate, I need to make sure that there's a portion that is there for January, that is for 2026. But again, also reflect on your year's achievement and lessons. But lastly, to avoid also pressure, particularly December, it's very important to avoid pressure. But of important is to analyze your goals, that is for the coming year, so that as you set to the next year, you get to motion.
So even if you're planning for, this is pre-festive planning now, you have to factor in the goals that you need to achieve next year.
Very important.
So sometimes, that means the budget has to be realistic.
Sure.
And why do sometimes you get to see people sometimes using money that does not reflect their budget or their income in the long run, especially when it comes to pre-season season planning?
Number one, as I said, trying to fit in other people's shoes, pressure from other people. But again, also impulse buying, impulse buying. Do you really need it, Number one, if I've got to spend, then I've got to ask myself a very fundamental question, do I really need this? Is this just luxury? And that's why we have basic needs and we have luxury. Basic needs are things that we cannot forgo. But for the luxury, we can postpone them.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, are there methods that people can use to ensure that they can track their planned expenses ahead of the festivities now?
Even before the festive season, as a financial also and as a tax expert, it's very important to keep track of your records. One of the things that, as you guide people in terms of finances, number one, the first basic is to keep track of your expenditure. By the end of the week, you can actually look at your expenditure and ask yourself, was this worth it? You look at the purchase that you've made and ask yourself a fundamental question, was it worth the purchase? Very important. So one of the things is to, don't spend before you understand why you're spending. If you've got to spend a portion of your money, understand why you're spending it and for what purpose do you spend it for. Because you realize in the future, the money that you're spending today, you'll actually need it for the future if you didn't spend it wisely.
So still on pre-festive planning, there is something you said about luxury and fitting into other people's shoes, which means there is an aspect of needs and wants. So how would you recommend for people to differentiate between the two to help them plan better?
Before even we talk about differentiation of the two, it's very important. One of the things that needs to happen at the time that we need to be financially literate. Many people avoid that, but it's the key to succeeding in life. That for me to succeed in life, that I need to be financially literate. And the literacy aspect of it is what makes you understand what is the need and what is a luxury, what is a basic need and what is the luxury. When you talk about the aspects of basic ones, these are things that we cannot do with. That is house, this is your house, this is food and etc. You cannot do without them. But for example, when you look at the aspect of luxury is a car. You don't have to have a car to survive, but you've got to have clothing to survive. But for a car, you don't need a car. So you've got to buy a car when you've got into a space where you are able to afford your basic needs. Yes.
Can families agree, is it possible for families to agree on priority spending before the season begins?
Sure, and that's why as financial analysts, this is where we are needed the most. Of course, the conversation is out there and a few people are into financial planning, but you need to get a huge number of people into financial planning. because that's where the nation is failing, and that's where majority of failing are failing. You know,
Yes.
we need to get more people into understanding what finances are and where should the finances go to. Yes.
From your financial perspective,
Yes.
unaelewa hizi mambo ya pesa. What do you think are common unnecessary expenses that sneak into holiday spending?
Perfect. Very important. You know, this is the time that you realize individuals go to clubs. You know,
Yeah.
hopping in one club to another,
Sherehe.
not understanding why you're popping into it. You're not saying that, you know, having a moment to celebrate, but you've got to celebrate. Actually, it's what we say that at the beginning of the year, every year, you need to put your priority. What I wanted to do personally for myself, I had planned it in January. That when I get to December, this is how much I want to spend.
So this is not something you start planning in November?
Yes, but for some people, it's very important. If you do not plan in January, then you've got to plan in November so that you don't come in January 2026, then you strain.
But then again, that means you have to have been saving for that. Because
Sure.
you cannot start planning in November and December is just next door and without anything that you have saved.
But it's also very important because even if you didn't plan for it, it's very important to realize that if whatever you have in December or January, you'll need a portion of it in December or November, you'll need a portion of it in January.
Yes.
So even at that point, there's no time that is wrong to plan. At the moment you realize that what is very important and what you need for the future, and you make a plan, it's very wise. But it's very important to plan early.
Yes.
Yes, I would say.
What level of financial discipline do you need to ensure that you stick to whatever you have budgeted for, especially when it comes to December? Because in December, you ask most people, anything is possible.
Sure. One of the things that I've, for the people that I've met and for the people that I've had conversation with in terms of finances, I've told them you have to be very disciplined. This all boils to discipline. If today you stepped out of the house and you say that I had a budget of 500, I will not step out of my budget. I will stick to my budget. So discipline is very key. And now once you discipline on the execution, you make sure that as you step off, you know, some of the things that you have got to do when you work in town, you can carry food, you can decide to, you know, if you had a car, use public transport to save on those costs so that you make sure that you fall within the budget. But again, not yielding to pressure. One of the things that I always tell people, not yielding to pressure or not yielding to how the society perceive that things should be done.
Because especially when it comes to yielding to pressure, that is, I think, is one of the things that...
one of the most dangerous.
Because December, it's like everything has relaxed.
Yeah.
People want to just spend time together with family and friends
Yes.
and go out and have fun.
Yes.
Then again, you find that inafika mahali, I can push this up to this.
Sure.
Unapata umetumia pesa huko umepangia.
I remember a conversation.
Yes.
Just to expound it, a conversation, you know. We've got into a space where we need to teach even children about money. Yes. You've got to teach children about money.
Yes.
One of the things that as family, you know, and as I always teach family, you know, it's good to teach kids about money. Why? Because if they were saving, let's say, for example, 50 shillings on a daily basis or after 2 days, they've got to understand that these 50 shillings,
Yes.
then this is how I've got to spend it. If they're saving, then when they need something, you've got to come with them and tell them this is what you have.
Yes.
So if they're supposed to buy something, then you've got to fall it within the priorities.
Yes.
Yes. So financial literacy has just to come back when it gets to planning and getting ourselves out of a mess. Yes.
Now let's get into the festive season itself. Now this is a during festive season.
Yes.
We've dealt with the pre-festive season. How do you go about now around your finances during that time now?
During that time?
Yes.
Very important and practical aspect of it is to make sure that, because you know, during festive season, you know, there's an aspect of execution of what you say that you do. One of it is to basically stick, you know. One of the things that I've always said that in terms of finances that you've got to stick to your plan. If I plan, for example, it's a festive season, I planned ahead, maybe I planned for 2 holidays. I have to make sure that I stick to those 2 holidays.
Yes.
But at the same time, again, also, it's a moment to reflect. Remember, human being grow. We are not stagnant. Celebration and growth. Even as you think about celebration, you have to think about growth because you're not static. So in the festive season, again, is a moment of reflection, understanding that there's January that is coming. But again, also very important that we as focused business, we also delve in and talk to our student. This is a moment that we tell our student to strategize, make a plan. In terms of when you've got to come back to college, you need to plan for your finances. You know, very important that time you take it slow, so that as you step into the next year, during that festive season, have your holidays. And this means that the holiday that you plan for, you put the finances, stick to it, and that is discipline.
Yes.
If I say that, for example, I'll use 25,000 or you use 50,000, this is, remember, based on your capacity. You cannot spend based on another person's capacity.
Yeah.
It is based on your capacity. If I earn 50,000 and that's what I have for December, I cannot go all out and spend it.
Yes.
Yes.
So that is just actually living within your means.
Your means.
So now that we are in that season now, we had planned. This is real-time tracking of holiday expenses.
Yeah.
Why is that important?
For the reasons for tracking or recording your expenditure is that, number one, so that you don't, you do not strain when it gets to the following year. Number two, very important, it enables you to keep a balance, you know, a balance in terms of your spending and in terms of your growth. Remember, as we say that a human being, in as much as you spend,
yes,
there's also an aspect of growth. Yes. That at the end of the day, you realize that your future needs money.
Yes.
Yes, your future needs money.
Exactly.
So as I spend also, I need to remember that my future needs money. And that's why planning is very important. I plan, even as I spend, I track those expenditure. One of the things that I do, even for me personally, a practical aspect of it, I have my plans for every day. That is me. But I recommend that also others should also be have plans on a daily basis so that you don't go outside your budget. So that you realize that you have a number of things, you know, that I've got to do for my future. You know, as we step to the end of the year, one of the big things that we forget, that we also have our New Year resolutions.
Yes.
You cannot achieve them if you mess up December.
Yeah.
If you mess
Are there tools or methods that you think people can apply to ensure that they stay on top of their spending, especially during the festive season?
Number one is a budget. Stick to your budget. Have a budget. If you've got to spend this festive season, have a budget down there. But you also say it very importantly, you have to, financial, you know, literacy is very important. It's, if you've not got it today, then it's very important to talk to, you know, reach any financial expert, you know, so that you can plan with your money. And that's why, you know, where do I get my money? How do I grow my money? When it comes to festive season, how do I do with this? You know, it's important not to be locked by yourself, trying to spend the little money that you have, only to realize that in January you have nothing.
Yes.
So it's a moment this festive season to look for a financial expert. If you're not very good with your finances, you know, this is what I have. How do I get to go about it? But also very important to stick to your budget because, you know, after all these lessons have been impacted on you, having a budget, there's another thing, you know, execution. And on that execution, it requires a lot of discipline, meaning that you have to avoid spaces where your money, you would chuck your money out easily.
Yeah.
You have to stick to what you had budgeted for and say, this is what I'm going to spend. If I was to go out and say that I'm going to spend 500 shillings, once it eats 500 shillings, I'll step out of the entertainment tent and go back at home.
Yes.
That's the practical aspect of it.
But kunanga ako kakitu kanakwambia
Yes, we really-
stay a little bit longer. Bado ni mapema.
Yes, it happens, but now.
But also there's an aspect of, you know, during this season, marketing is done. There's continuous marketing, very rigorous one. We have flash sales, nini offers.
Yes.
But then again, you know, how can you advise people or consumers to be aware, not to be misled by discounts so that they can spend accordingly?
It boils back to our first conversation. You know, one of the things that before you buy, do you really need it? For example, you have 40 pairs of shoes. Why would I
Need another new
why would I need another pair of shoes? You have over 1,000 pair of shirts.
Yes.
Shirts. Why would I buy another one? You know, it's a very vital question. You know, for example, you know, you have everything. Why would I add extra? That's a question that any person should ask himself. You know.
And when it comes to gifting,
Yes.
how can people go about it? Because kuna watu wana expect kuna gifts. Girlfriends are expecting gifts, boyfriends are expecting gifts, wives are like everybody is expecting gifts. How do they go about it? Because to be generous, even without putting themselves under financial strain.
They always say that for us accountants it's so easy. For us accountants it's so easy, you know, it's so easy. But again, also, you know, the masses, you know, even those that are not financial literate, they have got to realize that it's not about pleasing people. Again, if I've got to gift, I've got to gift based on by budget. But at the same time, we can also prioritize to gift, not at the time that we are financially strained,
yes,
but get a good moment to gift. In as much as there's pressure to gift, there's need for us to realize that, you know, it has to fall within the budget. But again, you can also postpone expenditure.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend
yes,
if there is no money. You've got to postpone an expenditure if there's no money.
And you can even go for low quality, I mean low...
Yes.
Like...
Low quality
no, not low quality, but zenye hazina cost kubwa.
Yes, you can. Yes,
because even quality matters at the end of the day. You know, is it possible to separate genuine kindness from social pressure, especially when it comes to gifting?
Yes, it's possible.
And how can they go about it?
In as much as, like I said, in as much as you want to give, there must be a need to give.
Yes.
Yes. You know,
there must be a need to give.
Yes. There must be, you know, a need to give.
So it's the want to, not have to.
Yes. You don't have to.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, there's also the aspect of spontaneous spending. How does it affect one's finances, finances and financial decisions during the festive season?
This is a moment that I was talking to a group of young people on financial aspect.
Yes.
Again, you know, you don't have to spend for what you've not budgeted for. You don't have to. If you want to grow yourself, then you've got to make sure that every expenditure is within the budget. And if you've got to spend maybe one or two times when you have spent without a budget, then you've got to know how you recover it. How do I recover it? And that means that, you know, you have plans, you know. You have plans also to get to grow the money. You know, there's one thing to have money, but there's also other aspect to grow money, which is also very important. If you spend money and don't grow money, you'll end up without money.
Yes.
Yes. So also,
and okay, continue.
So also very important that those who are spending the money, they must also ask themselves a fundamental question: how am I growing the money? Yes.
Okay, that is the question I wanted you to stress on. When you talk about growing money,
yes,
what do you exactly mean?
I mean basically that, you know, if I had, for example, for 2025, in terms of my strategy, in terms of my resolutions, my target was basically to make, let's say, 500,000. I should come in 2016 and say that, you know, for 2016, I should double my income. But at the same time, as an accountant or as a financial aspect, I would also look at it because after growing the money, you also need to invest it so that it grows more. You know, we have so many forms of investment, you know. You can go into the money funds, you can buy assets that basically can generate more money for you. You can open a business so that you generate more money. But at the same time, also as you do that, you must also keep those businesses having money. And how do you keep them? You also have to make sure that the expenditure in those businesses are not very high, they're low. Because you can open a business and you're running at a loss.
Yes.
Yes.
And that is one of the goals you need to have, especially if you are going into January now, continuing to the new year.
Yes.
Let's look now at the post-festive season
Sure.
financial recovery. Why is it important that you have to audit yourself, how you spend your money during the festive season?
Very important. But before I delve into that,
Yes.
there's one thing that I talked about. I said that before or during,
Yes.
festive season, you need to cut on your expenditure, etc. But you have to remember that after the festive season, the two very important things that you need to do, it's about action and structure. Because remember, you don't go into December on a blank slate.
Yeah.
But you're going into December with, you carry January in December, saying that as I step into January, I have X, Y, Z to basically do. So after the festive season is about basically action and structure. So this is basically now implementing your goals, putting your goals into action. So it means that the bigger chunk of the work in terms of cutting your expenditure, you've done it in December. Planning properly, you've done it in December. So that as you come into January, you prioritize. If you had about 5 plans to do in January, I say which one comes as a priority? Which one comes as a priority? I would say maybe X and Y are the first ones to start with.
Yes.
You also create realistic, timetable and financial plan for that, because it's about execution. You don't execute when you make a resolution.
Yeah.
You don't execute it in December. Otherwise, you get to December the same. You're still rolling on the same plan.
Yes.
And many people are in that level. They come and confess that in 2026, I want to achieve this.
Yes.
But they don't know they messed 2026 in 2025.
Oh, yeah, you can mess next year in this year.
Yes.
Without planning, proper planning and
yes, without
prioritizing.
planning. If you want to achieve the plans for 2026 starts now. And for companies now, they have plans that are rolling. They have a 5 years long-term plan. They have a medium-term plan. But also as individuals, we also need to have plans. You can't stay the same. If you stay the same, then you're not growing. So very important that we need to have plans. And these plans are not started in January. Remember, they should start in
Earlier.
2025.
Yes.
Yes.
That is very important.
Yes.
If I say I want to review my holiday budget, what should I be looking out for if I'm doing that audit? Yes.
If you're carrying out an audit, for example, it depends on your listing. Let's say, for example, on my list, I have 1, 2, 3 things to do. Let's say, for example, one is an holiday. Let's say an holiday in Dubai, an holiday in Mombasa or Malindi. I look at the cost aspect of it. But again, also, the things that you could want to travel outside, but they're here. So again, as you plan, you realize that whatever you're looking for, if you're looking for a beach, you can get it here.
Yes.
So if you don't travel, then you save on a massive transportation cost. So those are practical, actionable plans that you can actually take in terms of auditing. If you're auditing that expenditure, I'm supposed to travel. Your budget was on Dubai, and you look back and ask yourself, what if I'd done this in Kenya? The same facilities.
Yes.
If you're looking for an hotel, you look at facilities that we have within. You could be looking for something that is in here. So that as you audit it, you go back and say, I am not going to go to Dubai, but I'm going to have my holiday in Kenya, X, Y, Z, because the budget is within the range.
Yes.
Yes.
Does taking that audit influence or guide in terms of better financial behavior in the next year, or someone just goes through the same cycle?
No, auditing is very important. Why do we have auditing? Number one, we have auditing in terms of maybe the plans that you have. When you carry out your audit, make sure that, did I carry it as my plans as stated?
Yes.
Let's say, for example, government budgets, to make it just very plain, when you talk about government budgets,
Yes.
why are they being audited? To make sure that the allocation that was done fell within the plans that were basically created. So as you audit yourself, the question is that, I said I'm going to do X, Y, Z,
Yes.
in festive season, come January, you check that budget. You'll notice that I'm way behind. Maybe I'm not disciplined enough. You'll notice again also I'm spending on things that are unnecessary. So again, at that point, you also have to have a different mindset, you know, because there's not a time that is late to plan or to take action in your life, to make better decisions. So auditing is really vital, because every time you audit yourself, and a wise person, we always say that should basically audit themselves on a daily basis. When I step to my house, one of the things that I ask myself, I look at my receipts,
Yes.
I list them down.
Yes.
And I will actually know this one was a good one,
Yes.
this one was a bad one.
Yeah.
And so I begin to change. Yes.
Remember we talked about someone living way beyond their means.
Yes.
Which means during the festive season, they get into debt.
Yes.
But what are the dangers that people are likely to face when they carry those debts into January now?
And number one is strain. You could lose your property auction. You could be auctioned when you get into debt. And we always say, you know, when I've got to take money, you know, where is the money? You know, when it comes to loan, you know, the people who say loans are bad. The people who say that, you know, loans are good. But, you know, they can fall in between. But very important, when I take a loan, where is it going to go to? Where am I taking the loan for? Yes, how am I going to, how is this loan, you know, going to basically, how am I going to pay this loan? Very important. But at a stage, we always tell people there's a particular stage that you are in, we can call it infancy, you do not have money. Why would you take a loan that you're not even able to pay for? Why would you take a loan that you're not even going to put in business? Why would I take a loan to go and please other people? So that's a wrong decision. Yeah, that, you know, the viewers can actually, as you go for this festive season, it's very important to realize that don't take loans that are not going to go to business, especially when you're a young person who intends to grow. Take loans that are basically going to grow you.
Yes.
This is to the young people. Don't take loans for festive season. Take loan to propel you in January, so that you start that good business that you want to start.
Yes.
Yes. So that you take that good plan that you needed to take in January.
Is there a lifestyle shock that people experience when they are transitioning from the festive season into January? And how can they navigate it?
You know, that is the time that you realize when you have friends, you'll calls everywhere.
Yes.
You know, from the north, from the south, from the east, and from the west. Kindly, could you keep with this?
Yeah.
I'm falling short on this. I'm falling short on this. This and this family, some family will tell you, I'm falling short on this, you know, I need this and this and this. But you realize that just as we started, that all these things stems out from our planning and how we view finances. You see, the people view finances as, you know, just spending.
Yes.
But the people who view finances are that they should actually grow finances, or they should actually use them prudently. You know, so financial management is very key, you know, towards, you know, these shocks that we are going to have.
Yes.
So one of the things that we would actually talk to the masses, as we talk to the masses, is to remind them that, you know, as you go for these plans, remember there's a January.
Yes.
Remember there's a goal that you told yourself.
Yes.
You did not tell anybody. You told yourself that in 2026, I want to open a business.
Yes.
You are not going to do it if you don't budget. If you don't plan, you are not going to achieve that plan. So
Yes.
it's wise that you do the plan now.
Yes.
You don't have to wait for January, so that you call your friends. Send me some 500 somewhere. Maybe your friend is also tied to his, you know.
Yes.
So it's good to plan now, so that you do not strain.
Yes.
So that you do not also depend on others or strain other people
Yes.
when it comes to January.
Your closing remarks. This has been very informative. Your closing remarks.
Yes. Number one, I want to say thank you to the station, but I also want to say thank you to the viewers for having us here. I want to say that come 2026, we have talked about a very vital area, that is planning. Whether you're young, whether you're 6 years, whether you're 2 years, whether you're 15 years, whether you're 20, whether you're 60 years, it is important to be financially literate. And the time to be financially literate is now. The time to plan is now. And the time to execute your plan is not tomorrow, but today. Be wise in December. As we celebrate, let us not overdo it, but make sure it falls within the plan.
Thank you so much. There's a lot when it comes to finances. There's a lot to talk about because planning, investments, even planning for your goals. There's a lot that we can talk about, and rest assured, when time comes, tutakuita tena tuongelee mambo ya pesa. Very important aspects.
Thank you so much.
That is CPA Ken Odongo, who is a director of Focus Business College, speaking to us about planning for and post-festive season. This is where this conversation ends, but don't go too far. Entertainment Thursday continues shortly with Vivian Degwa and DJ Unique. Stay with us.